Religion and psychology, two different entities that are often seen as quite distinct from each other. However, we oftentimes forget that religion and psychology need to be hand in hand in support of each other for us to be the best version of ourselves. Why? We'll discuss that today. So, first of all, let's talk about religion. What's the good that religion brings us? Number one, it brings you faith. It brings you faith in not just yourself, but in a greater entity than yourself. It keeps you grounded, it keeps you humble, and it keeps you bowed down to the creator of everything. And when you're bowing down to the creator of everything, in your thoughts, in your emotions, and your actions, then you are in your control. And this self control leads us to becoming not just a better person, but also gaining more self awareness, understanding who we are better, and eventually, if we are on a course of therapy, it gives us the best results. Religion not just gives you faith, but it also grounds you through rituals. Every religion has its own rituals, and Islam has loads and loads of them. Because in Islam, if you're following the Prophet, peace be upon him, or the Quran in your daily life, you're already following different rituals and you're already worshipping throughout your daily life. And that continuous and constant worship, it keeps you connected to your Creator. It keeps your faith stronger. And that's why these rituals are so powerful in determining who you are, who you want to be, and who you actually can become. However, if you just look at these rituals and the religion as a separate entity from psychology, if you don't think about it deeply enough, if you don't think about the purpose of it and how it shapes our personality and how it shapes our mind and who we are, then it's very shallow. And it can misguide us, it can mislead us to different paths, which may not be the path that you'd want to be on. If you're understanding religion without understanding human mind, psychology, and personality, then what you're doing wrong here is that you're trying to judge the creator of you, of everything, as a being who does not understand your mind, who does not understand your personality. Whatever message he has given you, you have to interpret it considering your mind, considering your psychology, considering your behaviors, considering your social connections and everything. So, whenever you're studying about religion, you need to look at it through the perspective, through the lens of psychology, at least to some extent. Because the whole purpose of religion is not to please God. The purpose of it was God guiding us how to be the best versions of ourselves. And that's how He is pleased from us. So if we're following our desires, what's happening? What happens when we reinforce our emotions? What happens if you keep telling yourself, do what you want to do? Do what you feel like doing? What happens if you keep doing that? You're reinforcing your emotions. What happens is your emotions start controlling your actions. Your emotions are now, you're giving them control. You're giving your emotions control to control who you are choosing to be every single moment of the day. And when that's happening, when you're giving emotions the control, you are reinforcing them. And guess what? There will be a time where your emotions are going to be so strong because you fed them so much that you won't be able to control them. And because you won't be able to control your emotions, you won't have enough self control. And when you lack self control, that's when mental health problems arise. That's when dormant mental health problems suddenly show up and mess up your whole life. Where did it actually start from? When you started surrendering to your emotions. So every religion teaches us not to surrender to our emotions, but instead Surrender to what is right. And how do you know what is right? You start thinking logically. You start using more of your prefrontal cortex. And when you do that more often, you have more self control. Now, that's a psychological perspective, but from a religious perspective, if you do not follow your desires, if you submit them to the will of your Creator, what's going to happen then? You're going to have more self control. You're going to have more self control, and that eventually is going to bring more clarity in your life. And that clarity is what you need. Once you gain that clarity, you get peace of mind because now you have more predictability in your life. Now you can rely on yourself. You can rely on your actions. You can rely on your emotions because you have that self control. And once you have that self control, you are eventually at much more peace than what you were before. And if you like this kind of content, please comment, like, subscribe, or share it with your loved ones and the ones you think need to have more clarity of mind and need to be more connected to both their religion and psychology. Share it with them, like the video, subscribe, because this will let us know that you like the content, you want more of it, and so we'll be motivated to make more of it. Take care.